Welcome to the Listening Lesson Matching Information 1. Before you start the lesson, you will need to have the following to hand: your training booklet, a pen or pencil and a rubber. You should follow the lesson in your training booklet. After this lesson, you will have a clear overview of what to expect in the listening question type Matching 1. Have learnt tips and strategies on how best to approach the section, and have a chance to practice the question type using real IELTS materials. There are 2 practice tasks in this lesson. The format here, it's a section 3, so there are up to 4 people speaking about something. All of the questions are in order. There are 2 types of matching question, and here it is type 1. Where you have to match a statement A to C with a course type 21 to 25, which are the questions. There are less options than questions, as you can see. There are only 3 statements or options. There is 1 answer for each question only, and you can use any option, or in this case statement, more than once. So it might be that 21 is B, 22 is A, 23 is C, and 24 is A, for example. You also don't have to use all of the options. Now we're going to have a look at what you can do before the recording starts when you have 30 seconds to prepare. If you need more detail here, then please refer to lesson 1 in the listening overview. We'll go through the steps here and then you will have a chance to practice after. First of all, it's important to know what the topic is. As we said, it's important to know what the recording is about so that you can understand better. Secondly, it's very important to find the first hold or keyword in each set of questions, which you should underline, as this will help you when the recording starts. Thirdly, you need to know how many questions there are. Fourthly, you should have a quick look at what you need to do, what sort of questions are there. And fifth, what kind of answers do you need? In this case, it is letters. Now you have 30 seconds to look at questions 21 to 25 in your training booklet. Don't forget to follow the 5 preparation steps which you will find on this page in your training booklet. I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. Now you have time to look at the possible answers, which you can read in the back of your training book and on this screen. If you need more time, just press pause. So number 1, it's something to do with media. Number 2 is studying or courses or university. You will probably hear these words in the recording. There are 5 questions. You have to match the information with Jack's view, and your answers are letters. Now we'll have a quick look at what to do while you're listening. You need to read, write and listen at the same time during the recording, which means you need to answer the questions as you listen. There's no time to make notes. You should write the letters or answers on the question sheet next to the numbers to make it easier to transfer later. Answers are always in order, so if you miss one, you just keep going. It's very important to keep up. You can use signpost words such as then, however, lastly, and the underlined words from your preparation. Now listen to the recording and answer questions 21 to 25 on the form in your training booklet. The recording will start automatically, and don't forget you can only listen once to each recording.
You will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for the next semester.
Come in. Oh, hello, Jack. Have a seat. Right. You said you wanted to see me to talk about your options next semester?
That's right. We have to decide by the end of next week. Really, I'd like to do all 5 options, but we have to choose 2, don't we?
Yes, but the choice depends on your major, to some extent. You're majoring in communication studies, aren't you?
That's right.
So, for example, the media studies option will cover quite a lot of the same area you did in the core module on mass communications this semester, the development of the media through the last 2 centuries in relation to political and social issues.
Well, that was interesting, but I've decided I'd rather do something completely new. There's a women's studies option, isn't there?
Yes, Women and Power. Again, it has a historical focus. It aims to contextualize women's studies by looking at the legal and social situation in the 19th and early 20th centuries.
So it would be useful if I intended to specialise in women's studies, but I'm not sure I do actually.
Well, it might still be useful to give you an idea of the issues involved. It's taught by Dr. Steed.
Oh, really? I'll sign up for that then. What about the option on culture and society?
That addresses the historical debate on the place of culture since the Industrial Revolution in Britain.
So a historical focus again?
Do I get the message you're not so keen on history?
Well, it's just that we seem to have done quite a lot this semester. Anyway, I'll think about that one.
If you're interested in a course focusing on current issues, there's the option on identity and popular culture that approaches the subject through things like contemporary film, adverts, soap operas, and so on.
That sounds interesting. Can you tell me who runs it?
Well, it's normally Dr. Stevens, but he's on sabbatical next semester, so I'm not sure who will be running it. It should be decided by next week, though.
Right. Well, I might wait until then to decide. And the last option is Introduction to Cultural Theory, isn't it? I'm quite interested in that too. I was talking to one of the second-year students, and she said it was really useful. It made a lot of things fall into place.
Yes, but in fact, in your major, you'll have covered a lot of that already in Communications 102, so that might be less useful than some of the others.
Oh, I'll forget about that one then.
Now, while you're here, we could also discuss how you're getting on with your core module assignment.
Now we're going to look at what you can do after the listening section. First of all, make sure your answers make sense. And secondly, guess any missing answers. Don't forget you aren't penalised for writing the wrong answer, so write something in every gap. Especially here, you only have 3 choices, so it's really worth making a guess. You can practice now. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers, and I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. After the listening test, you have to transfer your answers to a listening answer sheet. You have to use a pencil to transfer your answers. Transfer the answers, which are letters, to the answer sheet provided. You can check your answers again once you finish transferring. It's not too difficult this time as you only have letters, but you should still check. For this lesson, just transfer your answers to your training booklet and you can take 30 seconds. Your time starts now. Your time is up now. Now turn to the answer section in the back of your training booklet where you can check your answers. If you need more time, just press pause. You can also see the answers here on the screen. 11 is H, 12 is G, 13 is D, 14 is B, and 15 F. Now you have a chance to practice again, and after we will go through the answers together. This time the practice is not guided, so you're on your own. You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 26 to 30 in your training booklet. Don't forget to follow the 5 preparation steps. Your time starts now, and I'll tell you when the time is up. Your time is up now. Now listen to the recording and answer questions 26 on the form in your training booklet. The recording will start automatically.
Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30. You say you're building models of the world's ocean systems, but how are they going to be used? And more importantly, when?
Some of the data has already helped in completing projects. For example, our understanding of the underlying causes of El Niño events is being confirmed by float data. Another way we're using float data is to help us to understand the mechanics of climate change, like global warming and ozone depletion. That's part of an ongoing variability study, but the results are still a long way off. However, this is not the case with our ocean weather forecasting. Because we know from the floats what the prevailing weather conditions will be in certain parts of the ocean, we can advise the Navy on search and rescue missions. That's happening right now, and many yachtsmen owe their lives to the success of this project. In addition, the float data can help us to look at the biological implications of ocean processes.
Would that help with preserving fish stocks?
Yes, and advising governments on fisheries legislation. We're well on the way to completing a project on this. We hope it will help to bring about more sustainable fishing practices. We'll be seeing the results of that quite soon.
It sounds like the data from floats has lots of applications.
Yes, it does. It's also a powerful agricultural tool. If we were aware of what the weather would be like, say, next year, we could make sure that the farmers planted appropriate grain varieties to produce the best yield from the available rainfall.
That sounds a bit like science fiction, especially when now we can't even tell them when a drought will break.
I agree that this concept is still a long way in the future, but it will come eventually, and the float data will have made a contribution.
You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. For this practice, transfer your answers to the space in your training booklet. You can take 20 seconds. I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. Now let's check your answer with those in your training booklet and on this slide. If you need more time, just press pause. 26 is A, 27 C, 28 A, 29 B, and 30 C. Now you can go to the next lesson, which you will find under this one.